Some forms of terror are fresher. The more intense the fear, the more the emotions die. Terror in its truest sense is not a static state, but a dynamic one. It is the moment when hope turns to despair. It's anime, can you feel the vibe? That'll make you feel like you want to jump and jive. Afro X coming to you live. This is Anime Legends Season 5. Steal your heart and we'll keep you alive. Tell me, can you hear that Akudama drive? It's anime and we're here to describe. You just have to like, comment, and subscribe. Click on any other channel, access denied. I cannot give up, but you know I tried. But as soon as all the emotions die, reborn from the fire deep down inside. So come with me and enjoy the ride. The entertainer is here to keep you satisfied. Afro X coming to you live. This is Anime Legends Season 5. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th episode of the 5th season of Anime Legends. We were supposed to have this last night, but pretty much the biggest fan of the channel requested that we change it over to today, so that's what we are doing, because I am nothing if not a person who thinks about the wants and needs of the fans. So yes, as you saw in the title and thumbnail, we are going to be talking about I can take these off. We are going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 7 today. So the most recent season that is going on right now. First off, though, I'm going to run through the social medias. Starting off on Facebook, you already know we have the Afro X channel page, but you should more so be looking for the Afro X official fan club. And if you join that, you'll be added to a chat group where you'll be able to talk to me. I talk to the fans there a lot, and I constantly post memes, funny stuff that I'm watching in anime, or just insights about anime and stuff. So constantly talking on there. If you want to talk about anime with me and you're on Discord, check out the Afro Nation. There's a link in all of my edited videos to that Discord page. On TikTok, I am at AfroX_YT. On X, formerly known as Twitter, I'm at The Real AfroX. On Instagram, I am at The Legendary Afro_X. And I think that is all of them. If you want to email me directly, my email is thelegendaryafroofdoom, all one word, at gmail.com. Legendaryafroofdoom@gmail.com. So that about covers everything. Since I can't play the video anymore because it is copyrighted, I will talk about the Patreon really quickly. Check out my Patreon at www.patreon.com/AfroX. If you go on there, you can check out the different tiers. We have tiers you can donate as low as $5 a month. So there's $5, $10, $30, $50, and $100 a month. You'll get different rewards at those different stages. Won't go over that right now, but you can look at the bonuses that you get. I'm even thinking of, in the future, maybe on the Patreon, just for the fans that are donating to me, letting them know what the video coming up for the next week is going to be, since I now upload on Fridays.
I would put out videos one day early on there, but the thing is, if I put out videos one day early, I'm just afraid that people are going to watch them on the Patreon, and then and then I'm not going to get as much reception on YouTube when I actually put it on YouTube. So that is it. Hey, we got 3 viewers right now. We got biggest fan in here, Tricks the Anime Hater, who says, yo, right back. And also, thanks, and I didn't want to miss it. Yes, absolutely. Love it that you show up to these things. That is great. I just want to let everyone know if my video is lagging at all. Let me know, because I don't know why, but StreamYard really doesn't like when I do like video on my face and stuff. And my audio comes through a lot clearer when I'm just on audio. So if it's really lagging a lot, like I know I rewatched the what was it, the Satoru Gojo one, and that lagged so much. If my stuff is lagging, let me know, and I will 100% change it to just audio. Pseudogod says, "Oh, it's certainly laggy, very blurry too." Okay. Well, might be a good idea to switch over to just audio then. I hope you guys don't mind. Okay. That should improve things. Okay, that should improve things a lot. I hope you guys can still hear me. Can you guys still hear me? Unsure, but we will find out. Okay, good. So you guys can still hear me. Okay, so that being said, today we are going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 7. So what has been happening in My Hero Academia? Pretty much at the beginning of Season 7, we immediately find out that and I'm just gonna say a great big spoiler warning right here, because I'm gonna give away all the spoilers. If you haven't seen My Hero Academia Season 7, like, be prepared for spoilers. So we find out in the first couple episodes of Season 7 that Yuga Aoyama, the guy with the naval laser, the laser that comes out of his belly button, we find out that he and his family are traders that have been working for All for One secretly. That's how they found out. That's how the villains found out where the training camp was. That's how the villains found out where the like, what was it, training place was, where we had 13, the black hole lady. So there was those. But yeah, so Aoyama pretty much, and kind of against his will too, because his parents really begged him to do it so that they wouldn't be killed by All for One. And so Aoyama's been giving information to the enemy. And so we find that out. He is discovered, and pretty much he breaks down and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm horrible, I'm trash. Like, I can't even be a hero anymore." And Deku is awesome because Deku now in this season is really turning into the symbol of peace. This is Deku's symbol of peace arc, where Deku is now becoming All Might. And he actually says to Aoyama, "You can still be a hero," echoing the words that All Might said to him a couple of years ago, when he was crying at All Might's feet. And so it's really cool that Deku is really just coming into the whole symbol of peace role. And so pretty much everybody forgives Aoyama. The teachers, though, have to like be more strict on him, and he does go to a prison cell for a little bit. And Aizawa talks to him, and Aizawa was just like, "You know what, man? Like, yeah, you messed up. You did wrong, but you can redeem yourself by helping us, and we will make sure you and your family are protected from All for One," stuff like that. So pretty much they hatch a plan to make it look like so pretty much using Hitoshi Shinzo's power, which has advanced now. They mind control Aoyama's parents into giving a fake call to All for One, because All for One can detect if people are lying. And so they send a phone call to All for One, saying that everything's fine, everything's going as planned. And then And then they pretty much fake a meeting where Aoyama is supposed to hand over something to All for One, and then pretty much all of it, and it's supposed to look real. And so Midoriya is even there and pretends to catch Aoyama, like pretending to betray them again. And so All for One is totally caught off guard, and all of the heroes just pop out. And so All for One then brings in all of the League of Villains, and pretty much suddenly out of nowhere starts an entire war. And so this war commences, and pretty much what the heroes do is they put these villains into these iron cages that they've designed, and they had Monoma, who is the guy who can copy other quirks. They had him borrow Kurogiri's quirk, because Kurogiri is, of course, locked up. And they had him borrow Kurogiri's quirk and send all these villains through these wormholes to different parts of Japan, and pretty much split them all up so they're not one united force. And so specific heroes were sent to specific places. Hawks and Endeavor were sent to fight All for One, along with Tokiyami, the Dark Shadow Bird guy, and Headphone Jack, Jiro, I think her name is. And then Todoroki was sent to fight his brother Dabi. If you don't know yet, now you know. Dabi is actually Toya Todoroki, who is Endeavor's son, that Endeavor thought died, and then it turned out that he didn't. And then he really saw how horrible Endeavor was to Todoroki, or to Shoto, and just decided to become a villain and not come back. And also his whole body was scarred from his flames. And so they send Shoto to fight Dabi. along with a number of the other heroes who are able to either make their bodies into fire or withstand heat. And they send, they intend to send Deku along with Best Jeanist, Aizawa, Monoma, Manual, who is the guy who can create water, and Bakugo. They all send them into a floating island in the sky where UA High School is, and everybody's been evacuated from it, and so they send Shigaraki there, and Shigaraki is now pretty much 100% fused with All for One. So they sent him there. Deku's supposed to go with them, but at the last second, Himiko Toga grabs him and brings him into the portal to the island where pretty much her and all the second stringer villains are being brought. And any villains that are left behind are cleaned up by the rest of the heroes that were there. But yeah, so Deku shows up on the island way out on the coast with Uraraka and Asui, also known as Froppy, and he starts fighting Himiko Toga when they get a message. They're like, hey, you were supposed to go fight Shigaraki, get over there now. So pretty much Toga is like, hey, I love you, I want you to be my boyfriend, and he's like, has a real Naruto moment, a real like out of the plot embarrassment moment, but kind of just shakes it off and fires up two Fajins and starts rocketing across the ocean, which the fact that Deku can fly, like really fly across the ocean now, is crazy. But pretty much continuing on, Shoto and Dabi, or Todoroki and Dabi, pretty much have a contest of wills and ideals and stuff, and Todoroki ends up winning, but only really ends up winning by doing like his newest ultimate attack, where he pretty much like instantaneously freezes an entire city and makes it a glacier. Like he day after tomorrow's an entire city to stop Dabi. And so Dabi, he's pretty much out unconscious for the moment. And so Endeavor and Hawks are fighting against All for One. And this is where it actually starts getting good, because All for One is very much becoming a Madara and Dio-like villain. And why he's becoming that is because he is the kind of villain who says, anything you can throw at me, I have a plan for. I've already planned it. I've already thought about it. Like I knew All for One was kind of like high tier villainy when he was talking to the League of Villains, and he said, for 10 years I have been making plans, built upon plans, and I have created a whole network of connections throughout the entire world, not just in Japan, but throughout the entire world. And he says pretty much how I operate is I have a goal, and if someone can help me get to that goal, then I go with that plan that includes them. And if something goes wrong and they are no longer able to help me, then I simply jump to another plan that was a contingency for that original plan. So he has contingencies on contingencies. And that's the thing about All for One, is that no matter what you do to him, he has thought about it, he knows about it, and he has built he has built plans B through Z against you for it. I mean, this guy is fighting Endeavor, knocks down Endeavor. Hawks and um, Tokoyami and Headphone Jack are fighting him, and pretty much he looks at like Tokoyami and Headphone Jack, and he's like, "You guys have been training in a school. Like, you have no idea what real combat is supposed to be." And I love that he says that, because it puts a whole meta look on the whole series. And it's just like, why are children fighting alongside pro heroes that are supposed to be protecting the world? Like why is Deku being told to fight the supervillain that is threatening the world? And I love that All For One says that. And so pretty much Hawks manages to break off his mask, but he just reforms it. And then pretty much Endeavor gets back up, kind of gets out of his own self-loathing, and he rockets All For One like way up in the air, and then just lets loose with a giant prominence burn. Like, literally lights up and pretty much becomes the sun itself, which roasts All For One's body. And then the creepy part is, then All For One just looks up, looks at him, and he's like, I was trying to find a way to get rid of this body anyway. Like, you guys destroy this body all you want. I don't care. Like, I'm going to jump into Shigaraki anyway. And so that's all we've gotten in that avenue so far. Then we move over to the fight with Shigaraki, who pretty much Shigaraki now has become one with All For One. And so everybody in there is kind of just getting bodied by Shigaraki, because so what they're doing is Monoma is using Aizawa's quirk, and Manual is keeping Monoma's eyes open and unblinking by constantly giving them water, which would be a personal hell to go through. And it would just be awful. Like, even if you didn't have to blink, keeping your eyes open for that long would be horrible. But yeah, so Shigaraki, pretty much, he can't use any of his quirks, but his body is kind of deforming and turning into a monster. His body is pretty much turning into thousands and thousands of fingers that are just exploding out of his arm. He's pretty much turning into, if you've ever seen Akira, he's turning into Tetsuo in like the final scenes of Akira. And his body is adapting to having so many new quirks by giving him more hands than he needs. And so pretty much he's created a giant mass of flesh made of millions and millions of fingers. And he can constantly like regrow these arms out. And so like all the heroes are really having trouble even hitting him, because he's got these giant arms made of fingers that are blocking every attack. And so Bakugo finally gets in there and hits him with a howitzer impact shower, which is howitzer impact with like Bakugo has like rockets above his head now that he can blast his sweat out of. And as you know, Bakugo's power is he can ignite his sweat because it's made of nitroglycerin. And so Bakugo lands what he thinks is a really good blow on Shigaraki, and it just doesn't work. And Shigaraki kind of, and this is All For One really speaking through him, and he says like you don't even matter. Like he says, you will never measure up to the power of One for All. Um, and he's like, the only reason you matter is because you matter to Deku or to Midoriya. Like the only reason that you are important is because you are the supporting character to the main character. And I don't want to say it, but like Shigaraki and All for One really spitting facts here. Like for all of their being evil, they're literally spitting facts about the show itself and the premise. So pretty much, like everyone is trying to do stuff. The only person who's really getting an inch um, Shigaraki is Lemillion, Mirio Togata, and he's the guy who he is what is the word? Intangible. He's intangible. He can pretty much he can he can move through anything, and he can let anything pass through him. But this is at the cost of anything that if he's inside solid matter, he is blind. He can't see anything. And so he's just trained himself to guess and know where things are, and heightened his senses. But that would be scary. So like he says when he's introduced, Mirio's power is if he goes into the ground, like he can't like he is blind, deaf, he has no senses. And so when he's about to go under, he just has to know and predict where he wants to come back up, which is interesting. And I think it's interesting that they always draw him with white eyes, which is kind of the anime and manga symbol for, hey, I'm a blind character. Yeah, his power is so interesting. Anyways, back to the story. So pretty much Mirio says to him, like, if you had friends, you wouldn't be doing this. And that kind of hits a nerve because it is because Tenko Shimura, who pretty much is that's who Shigaraki is. Like that's his real name, that's his real soul inside of him. This is really talking to him or getting to him. And so All for One, who's kind of trying to have full control over Shigaraki, he is like, why is this going on? Like why do I feel this way? And he's like, oh, because the soul of Tenko Shimura is still in here. And so he kind of goes and focuses back on Bakugo. And Sun Eater combines a whole bunch of animals that he's eaten into a giant cannon and also absorbs Nejire's energy blast and fires the most gigantic cannon that anybody's ever seen. It went from this like cage thing in the sky all the way to the mainland, which was absolutely amazing. But it still didn't work. And so really the whole thing in this whole like cage that they're in is pretty much they are biding time. They are stopping Shigaraki from using decay on a grand scale. And they are like literally everyone, including Shigaraki, is just waiting for Deku. It's just a big thing of waiting for the main character to arrive so that Deku can come in and do what? Like, Shigaraki is more powerful than he's ever been before. I don't know what Deku's really gonna do. Unless he gets like a new transformation or something like that. But yeah, everyone's just kind of waiting for Deku at this point. So yeah, pretty much that's how far we are in season 7 so far. I believe it's almost to episode 150, if I'm not mistaken. I do want to give a shout out to Horikoshi, who's the author of My Hero Academia, because on August 5th, on August 5th, the manga ended for My Hero Academia. So, big shout out. Thank you so much to them. And yeah, My Hero Academia really has put its mark on the world, and it's been respected by other manga authors, mangaka, and it's earned its place among the greats. It definitely fits in with One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, all of those as like the Hall of Fame of anime stories, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all for season 7 of My Hero Academia. Last preview that I saw, it looked like Dabi was back up and about to start fighting back against Todoroki again. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, everyone's just kind of waiting for Deku. But it's been getting really good. I mean, when you have an episode where you get a prominence burn and a howitzer impact, and like both of those characters are very important to the story. When you get that in one episode, then it's getting good. What's interesting is that I noticed is both Endeavor and Bakugo got their right arms broken. I think Endeavor actually got his torn off. But they both have like unusable right arms. And I love how they're doing a parallel between Endeavor and Bakugo right now. Both of them pretty much being the number twos in their world. Endeavor is now number one, but he's always lived in the shadow of All Might. And Bakugo is now trying to deal with living in the shadow of Deku, but he's taking it really well. I feel like Bakugo's arc, like character development in this arc, is him really saying, yeah, I'm not the main character, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to go out without a fight. And that's why I love the moment where he gets back up and kind of starts throwing like his nitroglycerin sweat everywhere. And Shigaraki looks at him and he's like, you don't even have All for One. So why do I have fear? And we know it's because like Bakugo may not have All for or One for All. Bakugo may not have One for All, but we know like he's still a gigantic force to be reckoned with. So I love Bakugo's character development in this arc. Let's check out the chat really quick. So Trix, you're saying they did forgive Aoyama pretty easily. And he does take off across the ocean, yes. His plans can be looked at as paranoia. I don't think All for One has paranoia. I think he's just a mastermind strategist. I think he's on the level. I think he's like if Madara had the IQ of Shikamaru. Like if we're talking top strategists in the world, or top strategists in anime, we're talking All for One, of course. We're talking what is it? Vice Admiral Kome, Vice Admiral Kome from the Adventure Nebulandia One Piece movie, because he had every plan to stop the Straw Hats. He had everything set up. We have Shikamaru, and like right there, like there's three master strategists. Dio, I'd say probably Dio from Dio's Bizarre Adventure. Like I'm watching Stardust Crusaders now, and the fact that Dio was able to set up and create a network of all these different stands and stand users to work for him is absolutely amazing. They both made a point about the Sportcast. Yes. So you're saying, yeah. So both All For One and Shigaraki did make points about the Sportcast, like, and that I think that is going to be, their real downfall, is that All For One and Shigaraki are both they're both underestimating everyone but the main characters. They're both looking down on the number twos and the threes and fours and fives, and they're underestimating the strength of everyone banding together. And what I think is going to be really humbling, and what is going to be interesting in the end, is I think that their hubris is going to defeat them. And the thing that finally takes them down is not going to be someone with like One for All or the Symbol of Peace or anything like that. What's going to take them down is some dinky nobody that like nobody cares about, and I hope that is incorporated in some way. But yeah, Pseudo God over here saying Bakugoat, amen. That is the truth. Bakugo is just being an amazing character right now and doing the numbers. But yeah, that is all for today. It's been 37 minutes. It's time for my dinner. And in about an hour and a half, I have to run Dungeons and Dragons. So that is going to be all for today. Just for everybody who's watching right now, or for anybody who's gotten this far in the rewind, like, thank you. The next video that is coming on a Friday is going to be an AMV of Lizzo's song To Be Loved, which I've been listening to a lot, and I think it is absolutely amazing. You guys are not ready for this AMV. It is off the charts. Just to let everyone know, really want to push for more subscribers. We have 3 subscribers left until we hit 500. Once I hit 500, I can start putting ads on the videos, which means I'll be getting a little bit more money from that. That will extremely help. But yeah, I think that's all to cover. This is video number 702, and we still trucking. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro. And always remember to stay legendary.